just a little footnote on that. With the AWL, it sort of doesn't surprise me, the Alliance for Workers' Liberty, that it's urging a vote across the board for all Labour candidates. That includes in Islington North, where the polls show Corbyn running neck and neck with the official Labour candidate at the moment. Polls also show George Galloway in with a good chance in Rochdale. So that's interesting. But if you look at the AWL, why does it want across the board vote for Labour? Well, my suspicion is it's a combination of the idea of a crisis of expectations. So you get a lot of nonsense in the press. I'm talking about the left-wing press now, about some sort of crisis of strikes and all the rest of it. That excuses them voting Labour. On the other hand, Socialist Worker is quite rightly saying that Labour's working hand in glove with the trade union bureaucracy to ensure that that doesn't happen. And you can believe whichever version of events that you like. Either way, I would suggest that there's another reason for the AWL opting for Labour across the board, and that is because candidates such as George Galloway and Jeremy Corbyn at least take a view that they aren't gung-ho for what we've called, and I think it is the right take on this one, a NATO proxy war in Ukraine. That doesn't mean that we support Putin. We don't, but we do see NATO pursuing its strategy of seeing down Russia as part of a grand plan to stop the rise of China. That's our analysis. So the AWL, being first campist, being pro-imperialist, I understand why they would reject voting for George Galloway, for Corbyn and other candidates from left-wing organizations and independents and all the rest of it. So it's pro-imperialism that at least provides some of the explanation to it. And I'd make the same point, one about a crisis of expectations, but two, about Ukraine and NATO and the proxy war there with Workers' Power. They're calling for across the board vote for Labour. I've known comrades in Workers' Power for a long time. I think the personnel has radically changed since I first came across the comrades way back in the 1980s, where we had a lot in common in the middle of the miners' strike. But I've seen them flip-flop when it comes to voting. We were with them in the Socialist Alliance, but then I saw them flip over into anarchism and urging people not to vote for any candidate. And now we see, under a new leadership, under a pro-NATO war leadership, them flipping into vote Labour across the board. All you can say about the AWL is that they've been equally as inconsistent as Workers' Power, but they've been a lot more consistent in their pro-imperialism.